Here's some things I think you should know about AppScript, even if you're using ChatGPT to code in AppScript. So AppScript allows us to automate Google Sheets in really interesting ways, but there are some things that ChatGPT may not get you across the line for, essentially. The first thing is extensions AppScript. This is where you're going to put all of your functions. Let's write a function with ChatGPT that does something cool. For instance, let's create a function that will insert a row just before the header, just under the header. So let's go to ChatGPT, create an AppScript that will insert a row just below the header of the active sheet. So this is a very interesting thing to say active sheet. I'll show you something about that later. Let's see if this does it correctly. Let's copy this and see if it works. So it's going to take function get active sheet. This is actually doubling. I don't think we need this. The header row is just going to be the first row. Insert after. That should do it. So we can take this insert row, run. Let's see it run. We're going to have to authorize, I think, if we're running AppScript for the first time. Yeah, review permissions. You're going to have to do that. ChatGPT won't be able to do that for you. Let's click allow down here. And there, see, we've inserted a row. But it's got some kind of formatting. So let's go back to ChatGPT and say, without any formatting. Do this with any formatting. Yep, so it's just going to clear the format of this newly inserted row. Actually, it adds a little bit that we don't need, but let's go back and insert that. So I'll show you, this is a little too verbose. I mean, it still works. That's sort of the beauty of ChatGPT and coding here, is once you know you can insert functions here, they're gonna run fine, and we can always test them. There you go. So now it's inserting a row without any formatting. Actually, it's clearing the format. One better way to do this, though, and ChatGPT may know how to do this, is let's actually clear this format, and instead of insert, if we go to sheet, insert row, and there's this other one called insert row before, and we can just do 2 there. And that way, the formatting of the first or second row is going to be preserved. Also, we can just do get active sheet. And we just need parentheses at the end of that. And saving this and running it should execute perfectly fine. And there we go. We also have this drop-down menu. So ChatGPT knew how to do exactly what I said, but we wanted to do it a little differently. One other thing ChatGPT won't be able to help you with, or maybe it will if it's chatting with you, is how to do this automatically. Like literally, we have to come into AppScript and click run. And there's like a way to set this up that this is going to happen every single day, let's say, every day, daily. How do we do that? We're going to go over to our left side here, click on triggers, click add trigger on the bottom right. We're going to choose a function. If you have multiple functions, you have to choose it from this drop-down menu. We're going to insert row below header. From spreadsheet, we're going to change this event source to time-driven. We're going to go to day timer and select the time of day. And now we can do like maybe every morning before we come to work, 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Click save. Now this trigger is going to literally do what we did, which is just go in and run it, but it's going to do it at a time before we need this done so that we can come here and there'll be a new row for us to fill in or whatever. ChatGPT may guide you through that, but I think it's super helpful to show you this in person. Also, to delete that trigger, go over to triggers. Again, we're in just extensions AppScript. Go over to the triple button here. It's options, and you can click delete trigger. Again, ChatGPT may walk you through that, but won't show that to you. Something that ChatGPT may do for you is when I edit the third column, I want to bold the entire row. Create an app script. Here we're doing an edit, and this is an on edit, which is going to be a little bit different than our function up here. Our function is going to have the name on edit. Let's copy this code. That does correctly. We can add functions. We don't need only one function. We can have multiple functions in AppScript. This function on edit is a actually built-in function. We can only have one, and that's something that ChatGPT may not tell you. It may not allow you to know that. You just have to know it, that on edit is a built-in function, but there can only be one. This E is going to be like an event that happens, and we're going to get the range of when that editing happens. We're going to get the column 3, get active sheet, get the row, and then we're going to change it to bold. Let's check out if it works. We're changing this to March, and it bolded it. Perfect. It's working as we, except one thing here that we didn't ask ChatGPT to do, but you should know, is that this should also be row is greater than 1. And row, we can get actually variable row equals range.get row. So that's something that ChatGPT didn't add here, but we want to add this because we don't want it, say we rename this to year or months instead of months. We don't want it editing this row. So that's perfectly fine there. But how do you actually do multiple things in and on edit? So we have this event. We're going to get the range. We can get the value even and log the value, for example. So variable value equals e.value, and we can log it, logger.log value, save. Make sure you save all of these functions, and we're going to type in 33. We're going to change this to April, change this to June. And if we go to our executions, here's our past executions, and each one is going to have that log. So log is going to show up if we run it from our editor, but if we run it from somewhere else, go over to this executions, and this is where you can find any logs that you have. Here's June. The one before that was April. That was the value in the cell that we edited. ChatGPT won't be able to show you that. Hopefully that shows you there. But now this if can be used multiple times. So we can say if value is equal to, we need 2 equal sign to say, hey, are these things the same? If the value is June, do something. And in curly brackets, we're going to say we don't want to bold the entire sheet. We want to bold, let's say we want to highlight something. So what we can do is say, take this. I'm going to add a comment and go highlight or change background of whole row to bright neon blue. And now I'm going to take this and copy paste it, finish this script. And let's see what it does. Get sheet and set background. Perfect. So let's copy this part and add it right into here. One thing I want to share with you about ChatGPT is if you put your entire code in, copy the code, say edit this part, and then copy the code from ChatGPT, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes ChatGPT will delete part of your code. That is really a poor thing about ChatGPT, that it doesn't really know it's doing that. It's just trying to help you, and it's gonna add whatever you have asked it to add, but it will delete. So a lot of times I will take parts of my code and paste it into ChatGPT. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna change this to June, and there it is. So all the Junes are gonna be highlighted blue. And now if I wanna copy this and do something else, say with May, maybe May is a different color, black or gray, 4. So let's change that, save it, change this to May. There, super gray, almost black. And that's how you can do multiple things with one function on edit, is use this if. If needs the logical expression here, it's gonna be either true or false inside of the parentheses, and then inside of curly brackets, do whatever it needs to do if it is true. If it's false, it'll just keep going. It'll just skip all of that. Personally, I've really enjoyed using ChatGPT along with AppScript. It makes it very simple to do these sort of one line, couple line of app scripts. Also, it helps extremely well with for loops. If you're looking for more deeper automations and how I use AppScript, subscribe here on YouTube to Better Sheets, but also go over to bettersheets.co and take the course Master Spreadsheet Automation. It's available on Udemy as well. Find it there. Master Spreadsheet Automation will get you up to date on all the AppScript you need to know to automate your Google Sheets.